Sir, over to you, sir.
Thanks, Shrikant. So, welcome everyone. We will take up this session from where we left in the first half. So, under this session, we will take you through eQuest, and we try to develop a model that Shrikant has already shared with all of you as an AutoCAD drawing. Again, this is a software. You can face a number of issues. Please feel free to raise your hand and uh, uh, let us know of any issues that you are facing at the moment or along this time. This is a bit time-taking process. You'll have to be patient with this, and let's start. Okay. So as you can see that I'll just take you from the start. So as you can see that we had installed the eQuest software here. I'm going to open the eQuest software again just to recap from what we from where we left in the first half. Once this open, as you can see that you are presented with these options. As I have already, as my last session on eQuest was the CVC practice session, so hence it is showing here as open recent projects. Great. So I'll open that one only. How to create that? That should be there in the recording provided in the first half session recording. I think that will be available to you. So in that, well, in the first half, we have seen how we chose the schematic design wizard and how we imported the weather file into the eQuest software for our analysis, where we have to save our weather file and where all the details of the project are saved automatically. So I think we were here. So as you remember, we had just imported our weather file here, and then we come here and then we say we can give any if we know the area, we can give it right now, or else we can anyways develop the geometry in the subsequent slides. So we'll see. As of now, our building area is 250,000 square feet with 2 floors. Right. Now, based on what we have, we can change this as well. So if you can see, the number of floors here is above grade or below grade. If you have 4 floors, you can write 4 floors. If you have any basement, you can give that, okay, 1 basement. If you do this and you render, you will see how the software automatically generates those floors. So if you see, it has already rendered a basement and 2 floors. Now, as you can see, there's a gap in between. This gap is mainly because we have taken this floor multiplier somewhere, right? Floor multiplier means that if it is a typical floor, it will calculate the values for 1 floor and it will multiply it with the number of typical floors that we have given, right? So now if we come to the next page, so the best way to navigate this is this one, next screen or previous screen. If you want to change something, you can come back to the previous screen and then again go forward. So as you can see here, by default, this geometry, the square shape geometry is chosen, right? Now what we can do is, as I told you that in the first half, if you remember, that a number of that the energy simulation, the annual energy consumption, that depends on the building shape as well, the building shape and the orientation. So as you can see that from here you can change the orientation. Right now this is the orientation. You can change to west, you can change to northeast or anything. And then as this has a set of already assigned values, you can pretty much you can run this simulation to see. I mean, just on a very first notice. So the first thing that comes to your mind, that okay, if I have a plot, what should be the shape? Shall it be square? Okay, so let me see how a square building will have. So if you see this up here, there is a perform simulation. If you go, it will automatically do a simulation based on the default values. Now at this point, we are not checking the uh, 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 the impacts of the wall U value or the roof U value or the glass or anything. We are just checking how the geometry shape impacts the simulation. So once the simulation is run, if you can, was I not sharing my screen so far? Hello?
Hello. Yeah, sir.
Okay,
Hello.
so
Yeah, sir.
yeah, was I not sharing my screen so
Now we
far?
can see your screen, sir.
No, now, but
To
earlier.
now it was not clear, sir.
Okay, okay,
Now
okay.
it's clear.
Okay, sorry. Let me go back. Okay, sorry. So as I said here, once you have chosen this, and you can change, say, the building above grade, if there are you input the number of floors you have. Now these will take it as typical floors. So I put a 4 here, and I will put it one basement, right? So based on that, if you render this figure, you will see this. Sorry, if you take the 3D, you see that it has developed one basement and 4 floors. Now this floor is empty because those are typical floors, and it shows as a, well, as a building year multiplier. So this floor is actually there, but how the software calculates is, it calculates the energy values for one single floor and then multiplies it with 4 to get the total year value. So don't think that a floor is not there. The floor is there. It's just that the rendering is in this way, right? So as I said, you can. So the first thing, after you know that okay, I have a plot, you want to see how the building shape impacts your uh, 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 your uh, uh, energy simulation values, right? So just in here, so you have developed this year geometry. I will not well not year developed. You have this geometry as a year default, right? And then though, well, all these U values and building envelope construction, these are all set in as year default. But now we are just seeing what the impact of changing the building shape has. So once, say, you have chosen this, you can finish. Again, it will render. Okay. So there are no errors and nothing. And there, here on the top icon, see, here is one perform simulation. So if you click on that, it will perform the simulation for this rendered thing. And now if I see view summary results, so here it gives me the value that okay, in a whole year, this shape will give me uh, uh, 325 325,000 kilowatt watt-hour in a whole year, right? So what we can do is we can keep this as a record. This is the first record, right? Or we can see that okay, with the square shape, this is the annual energy consumption that I'm having. Now to go back to that same value, you can click here, which is the project view, right? And in the project view, you have this. So you again go to actions on bottom, building wizard again, do yes, do okay. And here you can again change it to say T-shaped or say H-shaped, right? After you have changed, you do finish. Again, it will render a geometry here for you. So you see, it has already rendered a geometry here for you that is H-shaped, right? After you have rendered, you again do perform simulations and you view results. So here you can see it is 347. So that means earlier it was 325, but now it is 347. Does anyone have any idea why it has increased? Because all parameters are same, except that the building shape has changed. Please feel free to answer.
Hello.
Hello.
Yes, sir.
Yes.
Yeah, no, we were not able to hear anything. That's why I was just checking if it was.
Yeah. No, I was just waiting for a response, or are there any issues that you're
Okay, all right.
facing?
Okay,
If it is all right, so
all
have
right, sir.
everyone on
I
the
think
call?
Muhammad has
Yep.
a response, sir. I think
Yep.
you can see that large surface area
Where?
something.
Okay, in the chat we have a
No, sir.
I can't see.
It's in question, sir. Question
Where?
session under question. Said
Wait. Where is it? Handouts?
questions. No, sir.
Questions.
On top you have questions.
Where is this? On top,
Uh,
there is audience view.
on top of handout, sir. Just
Okay,
on
on
top
top of
of handout.
handout, there is attendees and there is audio. I
Okay.
don't have
So,
questions.
sir, can you please go to the view tab on top
Okay, and
and click on questions so that you can see the question tab also.
I don't have this question option on here. If you can see my screen, I'm sharing my
Okay.
screen. There is attendees, audience view, chat, handout, and webcam. That's all. There are no questions
Right.
in here.
Okay. I will just copy and share you, sir, so that you can see that.
Okay, sure. Okay, yeah. So as you said, yes, your response is right. As because having H shape, your amount of glazing has increased a lot. So that means your heat gain in the space has increased a lot. Just like that. Similarly, if you go and if you check, say, another shape, say you go and have a trapezoid, say U shape, right? And then if you click on finish, again the software will generate uh, the rendering for you, right? And then again, if you click on perform simulations here and view results, here see it is 335. So it is in between. So it is lower than the H-shaped building, but higher than the square shape. Right. Again, that has to do with the amount of glazing. But if in this case, if you go back and say change the orientation, that means this amount of glazing is on the south. So maybe if you just rotate it that ways, right? So that means this entire thing becomes from the north, and you again render this. So you see that now how you can now once you click on this 3D, and if you click on control, keep so keep pressing your controls and then move your mouse here and there, then only you can see the other side of the building. And if you want to zoom in, zoom out, click so right click, hold, no sorry, okay, press control, right click, and then zoom in, zoom out. So your control right click is zoom in, zoom out, and then control left click is you can see it here and there. And then if you reset the cameras, it will come back to the earlier view that you had. Okay, so now as you can see in here, again control right click and then zoom out a bit, so you can see that now the directions have changed. Earlier this was south, this was north, and then east west like this. Now as you have changed the direction has changed, and then you click on perform simulation and you save it. So now you see it is 33, it's 333. Earlier it was 335. That means the amount of glazing that was there on the south side, as that has changed, right? Then hence there is a small impact on the overall energy saving. So all these kind of very basic uh, 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 analysis you can do even when the building floor plans and things are not finalized. So just to make that decision that okay, if I want to make my building L-shaped, U-shaped, square, H-shaped, or anything, you can just make that, right? But then say now, of course, most of the time, these standard geometries are not there. You will have, or your client will have some sort of a requirement on the outlook of the building. In that case, what we do again in the schematic wizard, every time you have to go back to change to your geometry, you can come to action and you can click on this building creation wizard here. It will always pop up to save the changes. You can say yes, and here comes a warning that says that you are entering the building wizards now. If you have may change anything, all those changes will be gone, but then that will come later on. So here, whenever this comes, click OK if you are at the initial stages of the analysis. But then if you have gone into the detailed mode, and then you come back into this wizard creation, then everything that you have done will be lost. So hence, if it is at the early starting, then yes, please feel free to come back to this and then change things. But if you're in the detailed design, think twice before coming back to the building creation. So okay, now these are the building shapes. Now how do we create a geometry that you have that is different from these shapes? So in here in the footprint shape, you go and you press customs. Now when you press custom, this box shows up, and then you can select blank slate. That means you will have to create the geometry from the start. Blank slate, and then here under background images, you can upload a CAD file. So I said import CAD file. Okay. Now in this, if you go, I think I've saved it in the desktop. So okay, let me see where I. Right. So now that I've saved it, so yeah, if I go, so this was the file that was shared with you. So you can select it, you can click on open, and now it will ask that, okay, 1 CAD unit is equal to 1 inch. So if your drawing is in mm, then you choose meters and you give 0. 0.00. Okay, and then you say apply. I think this was in meters. Okay, in that case, I'll just keep it 1 and I'll say apply. So here you can see that the entire CAD geometry is important. Now, what I would be strict about is I will not import any detailed CAD drawing here. I mean, something that has blocks and stuff and everything. I would refrain myself from doing that in here. What I would do is I would create just the outline that shows the interior partitions and the zoning, and I will just save that as a separate CAD or a DXF file, and I will use that. If you start using heavy files, in that case, you will never see this, and then it will be a headache for you to draw the geometry. Now, certain small things to zoom in, zoom out, you can choose this magnifying glass symbol. You zoom in, you zoom out. If you want to go up and down, use this pan button here and there. It is now there are some restrictions in this. You cannot like scroll your mouse to zoom in and zoom out. You have to zoom in and zoom out using this magnifying glass. Your scroll up and down will only take your screen up and down, right? It won't zoom in or zoom out. Okay. So for example, this is, so now I have imported the geometry. Just before starting, is everyone following this? Are there any confusion, or is anyone not being able to bring the AutoCAD to or to here to this drawing board? feel free to say. I mean, because this software is like, yeah. Say.
Anne Maria just requested to explain it again.
Which one? This importing. It will be good if you is the mic open for everyone. It will be good if you can
Just once, I will just unmute Anne Maria.
say which part, because we have to
So the
catch the
importing
timeline as well. So
portion.
okay, importing. Good. So if you go here, if you say, so in this, in building, so first is you have to create the footprint shape. So that means the outline of the building. So in here you go, at the bottom you will find customs. You click on customs, this block will open. You have to choose blank slate so that it is a clean slate, and from here you have to import additional CAD file. Now, as I have already imported this once, so it is showing in this here. If you start afresh, this drawing will not show here. In that case, you just import additional CAD file, go to OK, then choose the AutoCAD file that you want to choose, and then you say open. It will come to this. Yeah. So here, I think that the drawing is set in meters. So if it is meters, click 1. If it is in mm, you just have to make 0.001, right? And then apply. But as the drawing here is in meters, I'll do meters and apply 1. That means 1 CAD unit is 1 meter. And then apply and close. So this thing comes here, okay? And then use this span button here to bring the entire drawing into your screen, right? Bring the entire drawing to the screen, right? You can use the magnifying glass button here to zoom in or zoom out, right? And again, this one to come here. Is this clear? Okay, I will take that as a yes. Now coming to the, now starting to develop the geometry. Now what I would be wary about is I have to be very sure of the end. So I would zoom in, right? Pull this towards the left and I would start. How do I start? Now this is very important. When you develop the geometry, you always have to develop it anti-clockwise. That means trace it from here, 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 and not like this, 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 this. In eQuest, you always trace it anti-clockwise. So what I'm doing here is, what I will do is I will choose the innermost layer of. So if I choose this arrow sign, and what I will do here is just switch on the what do I say, the snap. If you go to this button here, view properties, here it gives you what to snap first. So here I have set that my CAD vertex will be my first snap, and the grid means if you zoom in or out, this dot 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 dot, this is the equest grid, right? So it will grid. So if no CAD vertex is there, it will snap to that grid. But when I am tracing the outline, that means the external geometry, I will just keep CAD as my first snap, and grid and polygon as no snap, and then I'll do run, and then again go here, and if I click here, so see my first yellow blue dot is here, right? My first blue dot is here, but I want to snap it here. I don't want to create it here. So what I do, I delete this point, okay? And then I again click, sorry. Then again, I reduce the snap ranges. So what a snap range is, if I say that 1.6 is the CAD vertices, so anything that is in 1.6 range towards the outline, it will snap there. So I need to reduce my CAD vertices snap here to 0.4, right? And then if I click on this, see it is choosing the right point. Now I understand that all these things you have to, I mean, it comes through practice only. I mean, it won't be a very easy job, but at least you can refer to this, and then if things are not snapping or starting from the right point, you know where to go, change those values and see if it is working or not. Okay, and then I click on that and I drag it to the second point, which is this one. Okay, then again from here I drag it. Now as I see that here it is sort of a staircase, it seems. So that means I can totally drag this up till this point here, right? Now, if you remember, I have to match this internal lines side, okay? So if there is no vertex here, I can just estimate it and I keep it here. And I can take this next snap here, and then I can again choose this and align this a bit to make it a straight line, right? But let me see, I don't think this is the outer. Okay, it goes from here to here. So how do I remove? So say if you have wrongly drawn a vertex, how do you remove that? You click on the last vertex, right, and you do this. That vertex gets deleted, and then again this point also you gets deleted, and we come here, and then again here you come, click, drag, click, drag. Now see, I mean, you have to make these judgments here. As you can see that here you have to match this point. So what I would do, I would just select it. So if a point is yellow highlighted, that means you can move it. So you move it here, okay? Then again click it. This will give you a blue highlight. A blue highlight means that this will replicate this point. That means this point will remain, another point will get created here. So again, see, I do it here like this, I do it here like this, I do it here. Any problem in this? Shrikant, you need to let me know if there are any questions. I cannot see the questions if there are any. Okay, so
hello,
just for this, yes, please.
Sir, Srikant will be back in a minute. I will check by that time whether there are any questions.
Sure, no problem. Okay, so I'll just complete this just to make this happen. So I'll just, again, I'll drag to here, right? I'll drag it to the next point. Now you can say that why are we dragging to here? I mean, we can we can directly drag it from one square and then directly keep it here. The reason why we are dragging to every building interior point as well, because when you create the interior spaces, because this room will be a separate space, this room will be a separate space, you need to match the vertices of your footprint with the vertices of the room. And if you, well, and then if say you put a point here, put a point here, and this does not exactly superimposes on this, then it will give an error or at least a warning. So hence, it is important that we create the geometry, and then we keep on pressing, we keep on dragging them to every floor plan point. So again, if I click on it single time, the blue gets highlighted to a yellow. That means I can move this point back here. Okay. And then again, I do a single left click, the yellow gets highlighted into blue. And then again, I can keep on going, tracing this.
There is no more questions, sir.
Sorry.
There is no other questions, sir.
Okay. Okay. Then again, I can take it. Again, I'm just tracing those points here. Now see that here I have made one vertex here, but here I have made one vertex here. So if I try to do the interior, this line will be a bit slant. So I need to, again, a single click on this blue, it turns to yellow, and I slightly move this up here. So now this is in line. And once this is done, if you you can just zoom out to see if you're missing anything, and it's done. Save your footprint shape, yes. Then here you see the footprint that you just developed, that will come here. Earlier it was coming something else, but now the footprint is coming exactly what you developed. Right. Shrikant, can you take a quick poll to see if everything is fine up till this point? I mean, people can answer in yes or no, or are they facing any issues?
Yeah. Okay. Now itself or after this?
No. Because, yeah, it's good to be on the same.
Now itself. Just. Just. So that's a question. Just a moment. So the CAD file was not. Sanju ma'am, can you hear?
Yeah, if they can share their screen so that I
I
can
think
see.
yesterday 1:30 p.m. we have shared all the files to you already. Hello, sir.
Hello. Yes.
Yeah, I think 80% has told that it's good. I mean, 80% is responded to the board.
Okay.
Said good. There is no problem.
Okay. And the others, are they like, are they facing problem in developing the geometry, or are they
I
get
don't know
to
actually, sir.
install? Hmm?
No, they haven't responded, sir.
Okay.
They haven't responded. That's all.
I think we can.
Participants, I gave the access to the chat box also to you, so that you can post to the chat for the questions from sir.
Hello. Please repeat. Okay. There is. Please
Hi, sir.
repeat. Why do
Sir, you can continue, sir.
Yeah. I think there is a question from Mr. Joseph. Please repeat, why do we specify vertices in between rather a single line? Okay, yep, good question. So the reason why we repeat is because, so for example, if you can see, there is one vertex here, one vertex here, here. Why we are not doing one vertex here and one vertex here is when we develop the interior zone, you will not be able to match your this zone's outline with the building footprints outline. In that case, what will happen that you might do is you might create one point here, one point here, one point here, one point here, and one point here. So that means that this room's area will exceed the building footprint. Hence, if you have this vertex here, I'll just show you. Then while creating the zoning pattern here, right? After, so up till now we have just created the outline, the building footprint. Now we have to create the zoning pattern. Zoning pattern means the room, the room wise distribution, right? So in here I go and I again do customs. Once I do customs, as you can see that it gives you a blank slate and a predefined current. So I will choose a blank slate. That means I need to start doing from so that I need to start doing the internal partitions from 0. And once, as you have already chosen that AutoCAD drawing, it will always show here. If it is not showing, you can again go import CAD file and then do that. But if you have imported a CAD file for drawing this outline, this will automatically show. And then you click OK, then again it will go here. So now you see this entire space is highlighted as yellow. That means your building footprint has been created, right? Unlike in the other ones, well, as you have created the footprint, wait, okay. So now we have to make these individual rooms. So how do we do that? Again, we zoom in. Now we have those points for reference. I will choose the vertex. And again, I'll just check what my snaps are. Now here we see that I don't have a snap here, but I have a first snap at the polygon. What polygon means? What you have created is the polygon. Now, as you have already created the building outline, this point will be treated as a polygon. This point will be treated as a polygon, right? So what I need to do, I don't need to snap to the grid, so I'll keep it no snap in the grid. I'll keep polygon as my first snap, and then I'll keep CAD as my second snap. And I'll reduce the vertex range here to 0.4 as well. Okay, now when we do it, we select this top arrow, and if I just click here, my blue point is located exactly on the same polygon point as my building footprint. Hence, I can again do it like this. See, it is snapping to the same point. That means my room boundary and my building boundary is exactly on the same line. Okay, and then I'm taking this up till here, taking this up till here. This is done, and I will select here create new space. That means this room got created in here. It has been highlighted green. This room has been created. Okay. Any questions? Is everyone able to create a room like this? You can answer on the chat, or you can give your comments on the chat. Okay, just for the sake of time, I'll just go forward again like this. We create one here. We create. Now, what I will do is, now see here, what I did wrong is I created one vertex here, I created one vertex here, but I did not create a vertex here or here, right? That means whenever I will go to create these rooms separately, there will be some error, or this will give me one warning, because this point will not overlap with the exact thing. So what do I do? So see, whenever a zone is highlighted in blue, that means it is selected. If you delete this, so that means then it goes to the last zone that I created. And now you can edit this. How you can edit this? Click on this point. See, the red point got turned into yellow. That means you can move this point, right? But I don't need to move this point. I need to, in fact, I have to move this point, because I need to make it here and then trace these points as well. So once it is turned yellow, I'll just pull this up and see it. Yeah, this is a bit of, yeah, it comes here. Okay, now I again click this, this becomes a blue point, and then I can again trace this here. So I trace it till this point so that I can trace this room with this geometry. Okay, and then again I trace it here, and then I trace it on the top. Now this point is already created, but I don't need this point. So what I'll do, I'll select this. This gets selected as blue, and I remove this point. So see, and then I create new zone. So again, this zone is created with these vertices. That means now I can trace this room as well. Create one. Again, the same thing here. If you can see, if I'm doing, I need to do it here as well, so that I can trace this shaft or whatever it is here as well. Okay, here, but okay, now this point is here. That means I will have to bring this down here, and then again select it where it is yellow. I'll bring this down here. Okay, and then if I create a new zone, or else what you can do is yeah, you can create it like this, and then again this zone gets created like this. Create new zones. Okay, so any problems so far? Are you able to clearly make these 3 rooms? Okay. Yes, please say. Yep. Yes. You can unmute yourself and speak as well if we are not typing.
Hello.
Hello. Yes.
Yeah, while doing the zoning, in the first case we took the wall thickness, and in the second case we took only the interior part.
Yeah. Yeah.
Which is the correct way?
See, I mean, this much. See, ideally, what you have to see is you have to keep a balance of rightly creating the geometry and also keeping it more or less safe. Now, the correct way, if you think that way, should be interior spaces, right? That means you should not consider the wall thickness, because the interior space, I mean the interior walls, are the main space that you have to you provide your air conditioning.
Air conditioning,
yeah,
correct.
yeah, but as you cannot keep a blank space in between. I mean, you cannot draw it like this. I mean, for example, say if you draw it like this, right? If you say draw it like this, and say if you draw it like this, sorry, say you draw, say for example, you draw it like this, sorry, right? And then you create. You cannot do this, because if you do this, this software will consider this space in between as
Blank
a
space.
yeah, as
Blank
a
space.
blank space, right? Hence, these vertices, they should be just adjacent to to each other. Now, while doing the space, what you have to see is, I keep the zone of this room exactly to what its interiors are, right? That means my cooling will happen to the exact area that I need. But if this is a shaft room, or if this is an unconditioned space, whether I keep it this or I extend it to match these values, it won't make a difference, because the space is unconditioned anyways.
Okay.
Right. So these are small judgments that you have to make while making the geometry. Right. So this will come once you keep doing, and then you will face challenges, and then so the best part for doing this is, what I generally do is, when I have the floor plans, I create a separate polyline of my own that goes through the middle of this, right? And then there is just one single line that I have to trace, so that I don't have to make those interior walls and exterior walls. So while tracing the geometry in the equest, I can just trace a single line. So hence it is always advisable that you create like a single polyline geometry of your own, and so that those wall thicknesses are not there, so that you can do those, and then whatever adjustments you have to make, you can make in that AutoCAD file when you're creating that polyline, where whether to leave this space out, or whether to include this space within this space or within this space. All those judgments you can make while doing that polyline. But then when you're tracing it like in eQuest, you don't have to make it. But all these kind of small judgments you have to make.
Okay.
Okay.
Okay. Okay. Thank you.
Thank you. So again, what I'll do is I'll just create a separate geometry here. Right. No, sorry. Let's create one here. Yep. And then I will say I'll create this new zone. I'll leave this, create, then I go this. Oh, or I can just trace it to the points here. Let's just keep it. Oops. Now, as you can see, as I have given the snap, hence it is always snapping. Now, if I do no snap in all of this, then you see I'll be able to easily move this point around and keep it here. And then I create, but then I need the snap because it is important for me to match these vertices. So again, I go back and I do CAD as my second, polygon as my first, done. I do this, I take this point, select this, see it is getting here, and then I create new zone. So you can see both of these points are done. So just like that, I'll just create this geometry for you. I'll just do the first floor now. What we can do is, okay, let's not create this first. Okay, what we can do is I will do the first floor, and then during the sometime in the evening, what you can do if you want to practice, you can do the second floor, right? And then tomorrow in the first session, we can see that that how you have prepared those things. Okay. Okay. Here the point is here, so that means I need to prepare it. So as you can see, at any point you can go and you can change what you have done. Now see, now I have gave this point here, but if I want to match this, I need to bring it here. So what I do done. So see, as I'm doing done, this page, it is showing all the zones that I've created. I again go back to the footprint shape, right? I again go back to the footprint shape. In this, I have to bring this point up here. Again, I click this. I click it singly so that it is yellow, and then I bring this. Oh, sorry. Yeah, it is done now. I'll be done, save, and I again go back, and now if you can see that this point is on here, so that I don't have to make a slanted shaped wall. At the end of the day, if the walls, whether it is a bit slanted, it doesn't make much of a difference, because the impact on the energy simulation will be negligible, right? But just so that everything falls in places, we just try to match these figures here. I will create that corridor at the end. See again. Okay, this just got created like this. So what we can do is just make some adjustments. Create new zone. Okay, again this got slanted a bit. So what I can do is this and just bring this a bit up here. So okay. Now here again, I did not create a point here so that these would match. So what I will do, I will create, I'll click on this delete active zone, click on this, click on one point, click it one another time so that it is blue, and I draw a vertex here. Then I again okay. So has everyone started to develop the geometry that I have done so far, or anyone facing any problem? Any questions? Mm, any questions? Can quickly write. The reason I'm tracing this entire thing is mainly because I need. Well, I will make all the simulation and the other parameters. I'll show it here only. Now there is one thing to note, that you cannot keep one zone large enough as well. I think Equest has a limit of you can maximum make consecutive vertices like this for I think 20. No, sorry, not 20, 120. So a maximum of 120 vertices can be created in a single go. Thing. So here you can see how many vertices you have created. You have created 25 so far. So if you create too much, it will not create any further. I don't think that we would require 25 vertices. Sorry, I don't think that we would require 120 vertices. Okay. So if I create one, so this entire zone becomes a single one. Just for the sake of time, just quickly make the other. Okay, now what another thing is, say for example, there are two rooms which are of the same temperature set points, same utilization pattern, and same HVAC systems. You can club them as well for simplification, right? The reason for clubbing is if you make too many rooms, too many small rooms and stuff, your model will get very heavy, right? So, and then just having two rooms here, just clubbing two rooms here will not make any significant difference in the energy consumption. At the end of the day, the set points are same. The heat gains within the room are same. There will be and then the cooling requirement will depend on the set points and the occupancies. So if you club them, it will be absolutely fine. So for the sake of this, you can club these things, and once you are done, if you click on done, so if you see, my entire geometry is ready, right? My entire geometry is ready. Now in here you can give the floor to floor height and the floor to ceiling height if you have any. So I'll keep it as 12 and 9 in this case, and then I'll go to the next tab. This tab here is where you choose what your roof surfaces are, your above grade surfaces are, your ground floor, your below grade walls and stuff are there, right? So if you click on the construction here, it already has some default constructions, your roof and stuff, right? Wood and standard frame and stuff and things like that. Now, if you are so if your roof has a separate floor above it, right? In that case, you will just write no exterior exposure. But what you can do, if you want to see how it impacts, I've been just changing those U values. You will create, you will click this custom layer by layer construction. And after you click, you see all these goes out. So here, if you click create new construction and apply only here. Once you create this construction, this dialog box will open. So you will, so you'll just give, you'll just give a name to this. So I will say ECVC practice roof section. Okay, and then I get okay. Now when I do okay, it will give me all these options. So here I go and I select roof. Okay, I go to spec method. I say library entry only. When I say library entry, that means it will allow me to choose the materials. So for example, I can choose brick, right? And I can give the thickness here. I can choose what brick is that, common face, 8-inch. And there is another thing as well, which is specific resistance only. So if you know the specific resistance, If you remember how we calculated it in the last session, you calculate that, right, and apply that 5.678 factor, and then you can just simply enter that value here. Okay, that also you can do. I'll do a library entry in here. So I'll go here. I'll say that, say I have a concrete. So I'll just choose heavy concrete, right, of this thickness. Now we can choose that what concrete is this, heavy concrete, and so yeah, these are the various options that I have. Then I again choose, okay, after my concrete, I say I have brick bat Copa, right? Now for brick bat, I say that, okay, it's similar to brick, so I'll choose brick. I can say I can just range these thicknesses as well, right? Now please note that this is all in IP, that is in feet. If your section is not in feet, you have to convert your sections into the IP system and give. So as you can see, as I'm adding these structures, the overall U value has been automatically calculated here. Okay. Then again, I do a library entry. I choose that, okay, I need to have some insulation. Okay. So there's board insulation, there's bat insulation, there is polystyrene. So I'll choose polystyrene insulation. So if you see, if I just chose and then this figure rose up. Okay. And then I'll do another selection. Say I do clay tiles on top. Okay, clay tiles, again, this overall U value went up. Then I do another library selection. I imagine, okay, inside there are acoustic tiles as well. Say, for example, as I chose acoustic tiles, see this overall R value rose, and I do done. So that means every time for this building shell that we created, the roof section will always choose a R value of 6.321. Okay. Any questions? Is it clear of how to make those changes? I think this comment just came to me. It says to presenter only. Can everybody see this? Participants, it's on the right side. Sorry.
So you can mention that so that they can understand.
Sorry, mention what?
Nothing, sir. I shared the CAD drawing, and in which left side is actual plan and right side is the plan that we made for equest, for doing equest.
Okay.
That
Yes.
means
Yes.
the wall thickness are avoided in that.
Okay. No problem. So all participants, what you can do is, as this plan that I am that I just created, this AutoCAD file has already been shared here with you. Please do that, refer to this recording, and then create the geometry of your own, right? Create that geometry, because this is quite important that way. And if the geometry is wrong, your results will not be wrong. Sorry, your results will be wrong, right? So we need to have a good geometry, right? So again, continuing, after the roof surface, we can go to the above grade walls. So here again, you have those some standard walls elections. We'll go custom layer by layer. We'll create a new here. So I would say ECBC practice external wall section. Okay. Here it says copy data from. That means you can copy create you can create a separate name for the wall, and you can copy the same value from the roof surface. But of course, it will not be the same. So I'll say copy data from none. That means I will have to create one of my own. So here again, surface type, I come and here and I say that vertical exterior wall. I go into library entry. I do again say brick wall, this thing. Then I again do a library entry and I choose an XPS insulation, right? XP, say polyurethane. Again, see the R value is increasing up here. I do another library selection here, and I can choose say a bit of concrete yeah, plaster, right? So I'll choose concrete, right? And I can change this thickness as well, right? So by changing this, again, you will get the overall R value, right? Now, just remember when we are doing as we are doing this in terms of a whole building simulation, we are not well, it is not mandatory to meet the prescriptive values that are given in the ECPC, right? We have to choose yeah, what we have in our yeah, proposed case. That means the plan. Okay. So I do it done. Okay, so that means those two walls and roof have been selected. Again, I go to earth contact just like that. If now as we have a basement in this, I'll just do over parking garage and a construction. I can again do the same thing, go custom by custom layer if I have, or I'll choose that this 8-inch concrete in this. I say there is no board insulation, no interior insulation. In finishing, I say either it is 25-inch light concrete or something like that. You know, I'll just keep this and I'll keep vinyl. That's just same. And then below grade walls, that is my basement walls. I'll keep this as 12-inch concrete, no insulation. If you want insulation, you can add here, right? And we generally keep these as a defaults because they are pretty much to what we have. Now we come here. Now we have the building interior construction. So just to show you, at any point we can finish this, and when we finish, this will render the geometry that we have developed, right? So as you can see, this rendered this geometry. If I go to this thing, okay, if I reset the camera, see, now it is showing the geometry that we just developed, right? As the orientation. The reason why it is showing like this is mainly because we have even 4 floors. Right, as because we have given 4 floors here. Okay, so again we can go back to the building creation wizard and okay, and then we come back to the same place where we left. So these floor finishing, interior ceilings, acoustic tiles, and all those things you can change, right, based on what we have. But then these does not have that much of an effect as these roof surface, wall, and things like that, right? We go to the next. So here we come up to exterior doors. If we have door, we can say that we have a glass door, or we have a revolving glass door, or we have opaque doors, right? We can keep 4 doors. If you don't have doors or the north, south, east, west, you can just give 0 here, right? Like if you have 2 different type of doors, that means if you have a glass door as well as an opaque door, then you can say that, okay, my north side has a opaque door, and my east side has a glass door, something like this. Okay? And then the dimension of these are there, but again, glass doors, they, well, as they are not much of the surface area, right? Yeah, they do not give so much of so yeah, they don't influence the energy yeah, figures in that way. Again, so now we come to the glass. Now this is important. So as you can see that that window area specification measure is, we have given percentage of the net wall area, right? So that means there are two type of glass. So north side has 53.3%, south has 53.3, and like this, right? So either what we can do is we can give gross values here, or what we can do is we can custom window and door placement based on your door window schedule. Now see, as you click on this custom door your window or door placement, it is saying that it is recommended that all footprint, shape, zoning pattern, and other exterior facet inputs such as heights be defined before customizing window. That means that once you have customized the window, and then you say that, okay, no, I have to go and, well, I have to change the height of the ceiling floor. And then if you do that, all your windows will be automatically deleted. Again, you have to make all those things. So while making this, you have to be very sure of that your height and the other things are prepared. Okay. So I'll say that, yes, I want to display. Now, as I come to this, so see, it is showing me that, okay, these are the surfaces, right? And this surface has a window of this expanse. So you can change this as well. You can drag this, well, and you can create small windows like this. So for example, say I'll have say 6 or 7 windows here. So what I do, I say create a new window, or say I create a new window or door. So you can choose that that you're creating a door or a window. I choose a window. I say it will be what? It will be 5 feet wide and say 6 feet high. And the frame width, I'll say I'll have 2 inches. And then I choose one. And if I do okay, see, this window gets created. Okay. So I can delete this. So what I'll do, I will place this here. I'll again do one. I'll say 5, 6, 2, window, choose one, take one here. Okay, 5, 6, 1. Okay, 5. Yeah, I think it's a shame that we cannot copy these things here, or else this would have been much easier. But unfortunately, we cannot copy. See, now I have made one side of the facade. Now, like this, you can go around and change the facades of all these rooms based on your door window schedule that you have here, right? Or alternatively, for a very for the start of yeah, for an initial assessment, you can just assess, just give a figure here that, okay, 40% of 30 well, or 30% of my north wall will be glazed or something like that. Now say if I do finish, you can see how those glazings have been applied. By every finish, one rendering happens. So as you can see here, these glazings yeah, that we have added, it has so it is being shown. So so you like that, you can create glazing all around this thing, right? All around your building, just like that. Okay. So again, we go back to this. I think we have 20 minutes left. I just finished the shading and all these things. So as you can see, the next screen. So in a way, this is very interactive. You just have to go next, 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 or you can come back, or you change something, or you can go next, 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 and well, and it takes you through that entire process. Now it says that, do you want to have any shading? So you say that yes. Well, all windows should have a shading, and well, and then you can apply the yeah, yeah, the distances from feet. Your feet. I say that I need feet, right? Shadow depth uh, from southwest, I would say, or feet, right? Sorry, 2 feet. I think the 0.5. Okay. So I'm just saying that, okay, my all my windows will have yeah, overhangs, and then if I again do finish, and I see all my windows started having, oops, yeah, see all these windows, they started having these fins, these overhangs. Okay. Now an important thing is, now say if you have a very complex shading structure, I would be very yeah, particular about saving the model from time to time, right? So be sure, because you don't want to start from scratch again. So be sure that you want yeah, that you save your model every time. Now at times you have very complex yeah, shading structures and stuff. So you cannot yeah, model complex yeah, shading structures here on the Equest. You can do that on IES. Other softwares I've not used. Well, I know Equest, and yeah, IES only. So in that case, what you have to do is, instead of giving overhangs, what you do is you will have to calculate the effective SHGC based on the shading calculation that was shown earlier in the day, and then provide that. Now, if you want, so now if you want to change the glass types, now see we have you said that, okay, these are the glass windows. Now I want to choose a good glass. So see here, if you see, you'll have yeah, the range of glasses. There are triple glazed low E glasses, quadruple low E glasses, single low E glass yeah, glasses, right? But if you don't want anything, and then you have something of your yeah, own, that ways you can specify property. So once you do the specify property, it will be like this, and you click on here. So here, see, you can give all these figures. So here I would say that I'm giving U value, right? So here it asks me for shading coefficient, VLT, and U value. So here, whatever glass I have, all take the so you can take the technical specification sheet for the manufacturer from the manufacturer, and then based on that you can add the U value, but just be aware that the unit is IP. So again, you have to apply that 5.678 conversion factor. And then again, shading coefficient. If shading coefficient is not there, and well, and the SHGC is there, the conversion factor is 0.87. So just multiply, just divide SHGC by 0.87. You'll get shading coefficient, right? You can change this. You can change the value here, and you can say it done. So yeah, that ways these property classes will be chosen in here. Okay. I think then for this we can keep skylight as none. You can also do a skylight. So as you can see that if you choose perimeters only, it will automatically disperse some skylight over here. If you want to have core only, so it will only put skylight in the core regions. So the core regions means that any region that is not exposed to ambient environment, right? So you can do it, or you can customize this as well. Now customizing is a whole exercise in itself, right? So, but again, for the various for the very initial assessment, you can either take a perimeter only. I mean, where only the perimeter zones will have a skylight, or you can choose all. That means every zone will have a skylight. In that case, if you do, and if you finish, you can see how the skylights will be distributed. So you see that the skylights have been distributed in this way. Okay, but for the sake of this, I will not keep any skylight. The next thing comes is the occupancy. These things we can change these things in the detailed design mode, or you can also change this here, right? I think we can take this up tomorrow, because today I've covered how to develop the geometry, and then putting in these inputs and then running the simulation. This we'll cover in tomorrow's session. Now, any questions you have so far, please feel free to ask them.
Sir, I think there is a question in chat box. Can we able to have a screen wall in front of exterior facade in east?
Okay, yes, sir. Can be screen wall in front of exterior facade. You can, but then in that case, what will happen? See, at the end of the day, what you have to do is, I mean, in eQuest, you will not be able to do that, right? Hence, if there is, say, so yeah, hence I'm saying there will be only if there is an opaque wall in front of the exterior facade. In that case, you will have to adjust the SHGC in that way. So if you have an exterior wall in front of the facade, that ways, but that means your entire glazing is shaded, right? Your entire glazing is shaded. So I will adjust the SHGC in that case. But yes, there are certain limitations of your eQuest. You cannot you model it that way. You cannot model a lot of exact complex scenarios. But in that case, what we do generally is we take the we prepare for the worst case scenario, right? That way means if you are prepared for the worst case scenario, that means if your worst case scenario is complying with ECPC, that means your exact case scenario will actually get compliant. Is it clear, or did I answer your question, or are there any follow-up questions on this?
I think it's clear because there is no follow-up questions. Participants have any questions, please type it on the chat box or unmute yourself and you can ask directly. So one more question from Anne-Maria Jos. Can we carry out simulation of organic forms in eQuest?
Organic forms as
Organic
in?
form.
I mean, changing shapes or something?
If you can
like that?
unmute yourself and ask,
Circular
it
plan.
will be great. Yeah, circular.
You mean building like in circle shape with a courtyard in between?
Yes, sir.
Is it
Like instead of like rectangular or square plans, if you are going with a semicircular or such organic plans, can we simulate those designs?
Sure. Yeah, definitely. I mean, if you have your AutoCAD drawing, right, which is of that shape, at the end of the day, you will just have to trace them, right? You will just have to trace them in that case. So, I mean, if I do this, wait, I can show you. But in that case, you will have to just ensure that the number of points are very like lesser than this 120. So wait, I've saved this, right? What I can do, I open a new one. See, I do schematics. Okay. So I go. Okay, so I have done this. So if my shape is say like this, you can always trace that, right? Something like this. I mean, at the end of the day, it is a matter of tracing, right? So you can just keep it and if your building footprint is in this shape, then of course you can definitely trace. I mean, any shape or form you can trace. That is, if you do see, you'll have a building plane like this. If you have now in that, what you have to do is you have to be smart with your outline, right? Because you will have to create a polyline that has all the zonings that represents the actual shape of the building, right? And then you can quickly see. Wait, let me just see if I have any buildings that I had done earlier that I could show. And this you can see. I'm not sure this is the. Let me see if this works or not. So this was a bit of a complex structure. So as you can see it here, right? So you can do things like this, right? Where you have these glazings in front. I mean, some things like this. Yes, you can do your organic shapes in this. Something like this.
Okay, sir. Thank you.
Yep. Okay. Okay. Any other?
Sir, I have a question from my
Yeah.
side, sir.
Sure, sure. Please.
Is it mandatory to create vertices in anticlockwise instead of clockwise? Actually,
Yes.
we are
Yeah.
creating the vertices in anticlockwise,
Yes.
in
And
clockwise. Yes.
yeah, it will not take. So if you say, for example, if you do, I'll just show you. So if I go in here, I select the creation. I say footprint. I go to this customs. Okay. Okay. So for example, say if I want to remake this, right? Sorry. I delete this zone. And then I go say clockwise, right? That's what you say. Shape and vertices must be ordered in counterclockwise direction.
Okay.
Okay.
Should be in
So
counterclockwise.
yeah, it has to be counterclockwise. So that means you go here. Sorry. Now you will see here. I'll show you something here. So as you can see here, I had prepared those windows, right? But then now it is against the same. It is gone. That is because after creating the windows, I changed I changed some of the interior plans. So so only after creating or only after finalizing this, you can change the yeah, like if you want to customize the illustration, you have to. Okay.
Fine.
Any other questions?
Participants, if you don't have any questions, this is the time to wind up. So we have shared the Equest introductory tutorial PDF. You can just go
Yeah.
through that also. I think there is not many any other questions. So I think we can wind up today, and we will come back. Of course, ma'am. We will share the recording, but we are in the process of the morning session. We will share it once it's okay. That's sir. Shall we wind up, sir?
Yeah, sure. I think we can reconvene tomorrow morning. So tomorrow, first half, what we'll do is we'll go through how to input the other factors in this, in terms of the LPD, the equipment gain, and the other things, right? And then only then we can see how we can run the simulations, and then how we can set the HVAC systems. And tomorrow, second half, we'll do the baseline standard system. That means tomorrow morning we'll finalize the proposed case that we are doing, and then we'll create a baseline standard case based on ECPC to show that how that what different parameters or what different values you should input for the standard case scenario. Okay, but then we will use the same geometry. Hence, if you get a chance, I would request you to just practice this and then have this geometry ready so that you can input those results on your end and have some of output at the end. Okay. I think thank you so much for your patience, and thank you for joining this this session. We'll reconvene tomorrow.
Thank you very much, sir. Thank you for a good session on this AUS. And we will meet tomorrow morning by sharp by 10:30. Participants, please be ensure by 10:30 so that we can start at right time and stop right time. So also